I'm going to go ahead and record the session. So here we go. Warm-up number 92 is on the screen. By now you should be able to do all of those. However, notice number 5 is a little bit different from yesterday. Yesterday was the circle. Today I'm bringing it back to systems again. Let's see how you do with that. I'll give you some time. Copy and go. Are we good? All right, here we go. So, number 1, what'd you get for number 1? Danny, go. Approximately 9.4. Hands if you got that. Looks about right. Thank you. Then we got our graph. So, for those of you that are struggling with just graphing this, here it goes. Start with the parent function, which is f of x equals x squared with the point of origin at 0, 0. Then you know what to do with this. Is that correct? So tell your neighbor where this one is going to be according to our previous one. Where's that going to go? Danny, pass someone. Brandon, Doherty. According to this, what's our new vertex? New vertex. -5 and -6. That is correct. Let's go. So -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my new parabola is right there. Hands if you got that by yourself. All right. Number 3, factor by grouping. So I'm bringing these back. So let me go over this with just to refreshing your noodle. First things first, it needs to be in standard form. Is it in standard form? No. So this is x squared plus 3x plus 6x plus 18. So that's the first thing you should have done. And then group. First 2, second 2. GCF for the first 2 is x. We're left with x plus 3. GCF for the second 2 is 6. We're left with x plus 3. So my factors are x plus 3 and x plus 6. Hands if you got that. Yeah, some of us. Number 3b, once again, for the sake of time, 10 times 1 is 10. 7. What two numbers multiply give me 10? When you add them, give us 7. 5 and 2. So I bring the 10x squared down, the plus 1. And instead of 7, I'm going to do 5 and 2. 5x and 2x. Let's group. GCF here is 5x. We're left with 2x plus 1. GCF here is 1. And we're left with 2x plus 1. Factors, 2x plus 1 and 5x plus 1. We good? Yeah? All right. Synthetic division. Let's go. Tell your neighbor what you got for your synthetic division. Let's see, let's go with Anthony D. What'd you get? I just heard 6x squared. What else? Plus 7x? Plus 16? Is that it? You said 29? Like that? Hands if you got that. Looks about right. Woo-wee. Let's go. Make sure you're practicing your synthetic division. And the last one, Solve the system by substitution. So let's see. According to what we did in Algebra 1, and I touched into these about a month ago on the warm-ups as well, is that correct? Substitution, we need to substitute one equation into the other. So look up, which one's already solved for y? The bottom one, yes? What is y? X plus 3, right? That means on the first equation, instead of writing y here next to the 2, what am I going to write? X plus 3. So I'm going to bring this one down. Negative x plus 2, open parentheses, equal to 2. And instead of y, I'm going to substitute x plus 3. All right? The rest is history. Line down the equal sign, distribute the 2. So this is negative x plus 2x plus 6 equals to 2. Simplify. What is 2x minus x? X plus 6 equals 2. And we solve for x minus 6 minus 6. X equals negative 4. Am I done? No, Mr. Q, we need a y. Negative 4 is the x. Now we need a y. That means I'm going to take one of the two equations. Which one do you want me to use, Martin? The top one or the bottom one? All right, so let's use the bottom one. So we're going to write y equals blank plus 3. Instead of blank, we write negative 4. That means y equals negative 1. This is my solution. But also, what does that mean? Tell your neighbor, remind your neighbor, what does that mean in regards to those two equations? What does that mean? Martin, pass someone. Who? Danny, what does that mean? What's that? Did everybody hear that? He said, where both graphs intersect. Where both, there's two of them, 1, 2, both intersect. Make sure you keep that in mind because we're heading that direction pretty quick. All right, copy the agenda, warm-up number 92, Parabolas. We're still in the middle of that. And tonight's home play is only 6 of them, only. Write and graph. All right? So, we good? All right? Copy this code, SFC 6K, SFC 6K. You all right over there, Jay? Okay. All right. So, like I said, last night's home play was this one. You should have that one. I'm not going to pick it up for the sake of time, because tomorrow's minimum day, and I might surprise you. Ooh-wee. And tonight's home play. All right. So, with that said, don't get a Cornell note ready. We're going to go straight from that those graph papers that you created. So at the bottom left of the first one, write the objective for today. I can write and graph a quadratic equation of a parabola. I can write and graph a quadratic equation of a parabola. I can write and graph a quadratic equation of a parabola. Bah. All right. So we're still in the middle of parabolas. Remind your neighbor the definition for parabolas. They should know the definition. We'll have Martin enlighten us. Definition, parabolas. Definition of parabolas. Well, you know what? No, let's switch from Martin. Who haven't we called on? Okay, Anthony E. Parabola. Parabola is, or how is a parabola made? Bam! He said, set a point equidistant from a line known as the directrix, and what else? The focus. We've been using those too. Okay? And there's a parabola. Thank you. And from there, we talked about how we got this equation. You guys derived it. Look at that. Q merch, right, on the shirt. Where you guys buy it? $10, yeah? Wow! All right. And then from there, we wrote our two parabolas, equations, vertical and horizontal. And we said this one worked when it was what? The vertex was 0, yes? 0, 0. From there, we went to the new ones where the vertex was other than 0, and we got these two. So far, so good, yes? All right. From there, we did this one in class. Then we went to this one. Then from there, this one. And lastly, we were finishing this one up. Did we finish that up? Just about. All right. So copy this one. Example 2Q. Write focus 5, 4, directrix x equals 1. Focus 5, 4, directrix x equals 1. So today is going to be a day of practice just to make sure we're on top of the E's. But today I want to see how well you remember also what we did last week, because it's all part of it. So focus 5, 4, directrix x equals 6. So what's the first thing we do? Tell your neighbor, please, focus. What's the first thing you do? All right, let me go here to this side. What is the first thing we do? Mitos. What do we do? Write your equation by looking at the directrix. So by looking at the directrix, what is the first equation that comes to mind, Laura? Y squared equals 4px. That is correct. However, if we look at the focus, can we use this equation, everyone? No, because it doesn't have a 0. So I need to rewrite this one. And now we have a new equation. What's our new equation? Y minus k squared equals p x minus h. That is correct. So that means we don't need this anymore. All right. So once again, you have your colors ready. Let's start with a graph. What do we graph first? Our focus, which is what? 5, 4. 5, 4. There it is. Next, directrix. X equals 1. X equals 1 is right here. Motion with your hand to your neighbor how that line's going to look going through that point. How's that line going to look? Jay, how's that line going to look? Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Emotion up and down for those of you that are following on YouTube. There it is. That is correct. So far, so good. So to graph, once again, to keep our data organized, we need a focus. Do we have that? Yes, that's 5, 4. That's in red. We need a vertex to get started. We don't have one yet. I'm going to do that in green. We need a point on the directrix. That's why I write D with a coordinate. And we also need the distance between all those 3 points, known as P. So, turn to your neighbor, let them know what the point on the directrix that you're going to write here that's aligned to the focus. Tell your neighbor what that is. What is that point aligned to the focus? Then we're going to have Brandon enlighten us. What is that point? help us with that point. So, what is that point, Brandon Felix? 1,4. That is correct. Hands if you got that. That is right. So we got 1,4. Write that in there. So now that we have these 2 points aligned, tell your neighbor the vertex. What is our vertex? That is equidistant. Vianney, vertex. Hey, Vianney, vertex. Let's go. What is that? 3, 4. Plot that in green. That is correct. 3, 4. So, show your neighbor your parabola, where you're going to open it towards, how you're going to open that parabola. Woo. Let's go. Or let me see your parabola. Get it? See? No? Anyway. All right. We're done with that. Tell your neighbor the distance between the points. What's that distance? Everyone, show me with fingers. Yes, deuces. We got 2, because it's 2 steps from the green to the red, or from the vertex to the focus, or from the vertex to the directrix. 2 steps. So here for P, we do 2. Now, for those of you that got lost last night with your home, please look up. Next to the V here, vertex, I want you to write a parentheses, H and K. Reminder, whatever's on the left is H, whatever's on the right is K. So now, tell your neighbor what we're going to substitute here for K. What number do I substitute here for K? What do we substitute for K? Jacob. What was it? 4. That is correct, because K is right here. We said it's the one on the right, which means H is what, Kimberly? 3. That is correct. So now that we have all our information, bring down the parentheses. Y minus 4 squared equals, here to save a step, what is 4 times 2? 8. And bring down the x minus 3, and we are done. Woo-wee. Let's go. How we doing from 1 to 5? How comfortable are you with this? Show me from 1 to 5. Thank you. All right. Let's do another one. Here we go. Copy this one. Focus 0, 2.5. Directrix y equals negative 2.5. Oh, there's a typo here. This is a comma. So it should be a point. Negative 2.5. All right. Looking at the directrix. Tell your neighbor what equation you're going to use. All right. Equation, where are we at? Dom, what equation? Hands if you got that so far. All right. Now we look at the focus. Does the focus have a 0? Yes. So that means this time we do use this equation. Tell your neighbor what to do from there, please. What is the next step? What did we do next? All right. Help me out. What do we do next, Noah? Put in the focus instead of P. That is correct. So we're going to write x squared equals 4 parentheses y. And instead of P, we wrote what? 2.5. So, x squared equals 4 times 2.5, that is 10y. So we got our equation. We're done with our equation. Now we need to graph. Remind your neighbor what to do to graph from there. What do we do to graph from there? Bless you. All right, what do we do from there? Selena, make a table. X, Y. Now, which variable, X or Y, are we going to fill in for -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2? Tell your neighbor, please. Remind your neighbor which one's going to have the -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Rylan, which one? Close. Which one has the squared? The X. That's why we go with the X here. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. All right. So instead of X, our first value is what, everyone? -2. What is -2 squared? 4. Equals 10y. Divide by 10. So y is equal to what? 4 tenths or 2/5. 2/5. Now, look up. Where else do I write 2/5? Tell your neighbor. On 2, that is correct. 2/5. All right, let's do that again. Parentheses squared equals 10y. And now we're going to substitute -1. -1 squared is 1 equals to 10y. Divide by 10. So therefore 110 equals y. And where else do I write 110, everyone? On +1. And the other one stays at 0. Why? Because it says here that it goes through the point of origin. Okay, so let's graph. 0 to 2.5. 0, 2.5. It's right there. The directrix in blue at y equals -2.5. -2.5. And now we just plot our points. Let's see. -2 of x, 2.5 of y, -2, 2.5, -1, 110, 0, 0, 1, 110, and 2, 2.5. Ooh-wee. Is it opening up towards the focus? Yes. All right. So I walk you through these two just to refreshing your noodle. All right. How comfortable are you with these two so far? 1 to 5, let's see. 5 4s, 5 4s. Okay. All right. Copy this one. Go to the next coordinate plane. Focus 5 4, directrix y equals 0. Focus 5 4, directrix y equals 0. There was one of these on your home play last night. Let's see how you do with this one. I'll give you a head start. Let's go. All right. So, with that said, get us started, please. Maya A, by looking at the directrix, what equation did you think about first? X squared equals 4py. That is correct. That's the first thing we think of. We go look at the focus. Does the focus have a 0? No, so we cannot use that. So what equation did you use then, Rylan? Minus k. Hands, have you got that so far? Yes? All right, so we no longer use this one. All right, so whenever we go with this equation, we start with the graph, yes? So, help me get started. Rebecca, what do I graph first? Focus, which is 5, 4, 5, 4. And then the directrix, which is 0. So, before I show you the graph, motion with your hand what y equals 0 is going to look like. How is it going to look like? Show your neighbor. Which direction is that line going to show? Y equals 0. I don't see you guys. Motion to your neighbor. Okay. So, Rebecca, which way are we going to make that line? Up and down or side to side? Side to side, that is correct. Just wanted to bring that here because some of you might have made a mistake on this one on your home plate. So, let's see what we got so far. We have a focus, yes, 5, 4. Do we have a vertex yet? No. We need that. We need a point on the directrix, and we need the distance P between the points. So, what do I do next, Brandon? Oh, Brandon Felix left. Brandon Doherty, what do I do next? The directrix point, which is 5, 0. Hands if you agree with that. Yep, it's lined up really well, so this is 5, 0. So now that we have those 2 points, tell your neighbor your vertex, please. What'd you get for your vertex? Then Danelli's going to tell us. What'd you get for your vertex? Vertex. All right. What'd you get for your vertex, Danelli? 5, 2. Hands if you got that. That is correct. So write that in here, 5, 2. And now we can graph our parabola. Is it going left, right, down, or up? Everyone? Up. That is correct. So we're done with our graph. Let's go with our equation. Continue from there. Emily P., what do I do? Which is 2, which is the distance between the points, so that's 2. What else? Which is 5 for H. K is 2. We rewrite this. X minus 5 squared equals 4 times 2 is 8, and then y minus 2, and this is our standard form of the parabola that we just graphed. Hands if you got that by yourself. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Copy this one. Example 2MJ on the next coordinate plane. Focus 5, 0. Directrix x equals -5. Focus 5, 0. Directrix x equals -5. I'm going to give you a head start for this one as well. Let's see how you do by yourself. Go. All right. So, with that said, get us started, Maya G. By looking at the directrix, what equation did you choose? Y squared equals what? 4px. Hands if you got that so far. All right. Then we look at the focus. Does it have a 0? Yes. That means this is the equation we're going to use. What do I do next, Kimberly? So instead of P, we're going to substitute the 5, all right? So we get y squared equals 4 parentheses x, and we substitute in the 5. So our new equation is y squared equals 20x. Hands, have you got that? All right. Continue from there. Jay, what do I do next? Make a table. All right. And which one do I fill in the values of -2, -1, 0? The y, that is correct. And some of you might be asking why? Because of this square right here. That's why we fill in now the y. So, parentheses squared equals 20x. My first value is -2. This is 4 equals 20x. Divide by 20. So, simplified, this is 1/5. Hands, if you got that? And also we fill that at the bottom, 1/5. Next, squared equals 20x. -1, so that is 1 equals 20x. Divide by 20. 1/20th equals x. It goes here and here. And 0. All right, help me graph this. Danny, so what do I do? Focus 5, 0. And then -5 of x. And which direction am I going to sketch that line? Up and down. Okay, thank you. Good correction. And now we can graph the points. 1/5 of x and -2 of y. 1/5 of x is a little bit to the right. -2 of y is down here. 1/20th of x is a little bit to the right, right near the point of origin, and -1 of y. Then 0, 0. Then it reflects upward over here. Hands, have you got that by yourself? Let's go! Let's go! And do we have time for one more? Oh, yes, Mr. Q. Give us the last one. Here it is. Focus 6 through -3, and x equals -2. Focus 6, -3, and directrix x equals -2. Shouldn't take you long. Let's see how you do with that. Copy and go. Here we go. Anthony E. What you write? The what? What'd you start with? Close. Y squared equals 4px. And we look at the focus, it doesn't have a 0, so we can't use that. So what is our new equation, Anthony E? Y minus K and X minus H. You need to revisit that video from yesterday. All right, I'm going to stop right there. You guys can stop right there as well. So just, here goes the code one more time for tonight's home plate. SFC6K, 6 problems. Make sure you practice those, please. Have a good one. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.